Happy 2015! Welcome to episode 7 of the Orange Peripheral.
Hi.
It's good to be here. I'm UltraDirectorJester.
Aha! You're trying to undermine me, are you?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Don't I know it?
In fact, this is just solo. I'm just using different voices. Here's my TheNSCL impersonation! Needs some work though, I know, but that's about all I got.
Yeah, seriously, you sound like a sick TheNSCL, and that sounds about right.
Last time we recorded, I was sick, and now you're sick.
I think it's just the morning sniffles. I get them every morning, and I always sound like crap until about noon, and then I feel great the rest of the day.
All right. Well, all right. You're just going to suddenly sound better once noon rolls around.
I'm just thinking by the time this podcast ends, I'm going to sound normal.
Just going to be like, sounds like, oh, I really need to go to the fridge and go get me something to eat, because I'm quite hungry.
I'm all better now.
So what we got on tap today?
What do we got on tab? A wrap-up of 2014. Now, 2014 was weird. It was weird in the real world as it was in the gaming world. But I think we're going to mainly talk about the gaming world because I could be here all day talking about all the problems that the world had in 2014. Let's talk about good games. I actually had you get the physical copies of what you say is your top 5 of the year. And then you
get the physical copies?
What?
Fuck you, I'll be right back.
So while he's going there, we're going to be talking about our top 5 games of the year, and UDJ suggested we get the bottom 5 in there as well. So that's what we're going to do. I think I'll go ahead and start while he's getting his stuff. Number 5 is something I actually got very recently, Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. You're going to be noticing a pattern here. But Mario Kart 8 is seriously one of the most fun games I've played this year. And also, visually, jaw-dropping. I couldn't believe it when I actually saw it playing on my big HD TV, just seeing how much Mario Kart 8 has evolved and how good it has gotten. I went ahead and did my number 5 of the year. I hope you didn't mind.
Oh, that's okay. Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Well, now that you maybe go run downstairs and get me some games, give me some fucking exercise. What's wrong with you?
Sorry.
I'll talk about my number 5 here. The Wolf Among Us.
Ooh.
I know that the first episode was released in 2013, but the other 4 episodes were released in 2014, and this box release is for 2014. It counts, okay?
Yeah, it does.
It is a fantastic romp through a sort of fairy tale New York setting. It's awesome. The characters are great. I mean, I had problems with the Walking Dead game that Telltale made because it was like really depressing and too slow. But this, mile a minute. Pace is always going. It's got a great sense of itself. You know, it's fantastic. Yeah, where do you get it on? PS4, PS3, Steam, anything? Go get it. It's great.
Yeah, Telltale's been busy lately.
Been kicking ass lately.
I'm thinking that anything they touch will eventually turn into gold.
Well, I made you get 5 worst games of 2014.
Right.
So, would you like to start with your number 5 worst?
I could go through the entire list, but chances are 1 through 5 is just going to be Yoshi's New Island. Oops, did I spoil mine? I didn't play too many bad games, but if I were to throw one on the list just to say that it deserves to be on there anyway, I would probably say that you should go first.
I will go first then. My number 5 worst game of 2014 belongs to The Sims 4.
Ouch. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I mean, I figured that EA, being such a profit-based company, would figure out that making better sequels would lead to more money. So, I still have The Sims 2. Why would I want to go get The Sims 4 when The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 both have less content? Oh yeah, the graphics are better and they got, new features, but there's less stuff to do. Without microtransactions.
You get to add emotions.
they already had emotions in The Sims 2. They weren't very deep emotions, but it's... Why would you do this?
No, you don't understand. The E3 trailer absolutely sold me. You can laugh yourself to death. Nah, it looked bad. I've never been a fan of The Sims because I just don't get it, I guess.
There's not much change between The Sims 3 either, so what stopped me from just getting The Sims 3 again?
I don't know. But I actually do have this game that I would put on my bad list.
You have a number 5.
I do have a number 5.
All right, we'll go for it.
Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden Z. I actually do own this one. I got it like 2 months ago. It is a piece of crap.
Why is that?
Like, it shouldn't be that hard to mix Ninja Gaiden with zombies.
Ideally.
But when you give your main character a motor mouth that never shuts up and doesn't stop cursing because the kids think it's funny, and the camera being one of the worst I've seen in a long time... You got a recipe for disaster. I'm sorry, Ninja Gaiden. You looked awesome, and then you kind of screwed it up.
Well, if it worked with Devil May Cry, it could have worked with Ninja Gaiden.
No, it didn't. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Speaking of which, I just want to throw this out there. Devil May Cry reboot is amazing.
Yeah, because it's actually self-aware and kind of fun and shit.
Well, not only that, but it's actually fun to play. That's the most important part.
Oh, shit! A game that's fun to play!
Heaven forbid.
Alright, well, you want to move on with your number 4 best?
Sure. I don't have a physical copy because it is a download-only Shovel Knight.
Yes.
As far as old-school platformers go, I can't really say old-school since it came out this year, but it is seriously one of the most fun experiences I've had, just for the simple fact that it actually plays. And you can go onto the indie store or just the online store and you can see a bunch of knockoffs of like Mega Man, Mario. You can see a bunch of those. But Shovel Knight made something into its own. It basically took all the old tropes we know and kind of tweaked them to make something original. And I absolutely adore it. It's probably one of the best games I've played.
It does the shocking thing of learning from its history and utilizing that for good.
No kidding. The writing is also top-notch. You wouldn't think it, but God, it's a punny game. I love it. It's right up my alley.
Quite an excellent game. If you haven't played Shovel Knight, go get it now.
It's like $10. Go for it.
Seriously? I thought it was 15. Well, whatever.
Whatever.
All right, well, my number 4 best game goes to The Evil Within.
Ooh.
Many people will say, what the fuck? Why is The Evil Within on there? Because it's got all these glitches, it's hard to play, it's hard. How the fuck can you enjoy this? And why isn't, Alien Isolation or Five Nights at Freddy's on there or whatever? And I'm thinking, well, this is survival horror in its essence. This is the ultimate B-movie horror game. It is excellent. It's got hokey acting. It's got those crazy Capcom facial expressions that you always expected. It's got Shinji Mikami doing the director. The art is fantastic. The atmosphere is fantastic. Everything about this game is fantastic, and it is a blast to play, despite all the flaws, which actually kind of make it better in that regard. It is a lot of fun, and I like the helplessness. It feels like what survival horror truly is,
Yeah, in an age where survival horror is just a bunch of explosions and maybe a zombie or two every now and again, I'm looking at you, Resident Evil 6. The Evil Within looked like just a throwback. It's like, wait, survival horror is... You mean the character's supposed to be helpless? They're not supposed to, be blowing up everywhere. I got you. Let me give you a giant Axeman in a safe. That looks so cool.
I am loving the share function in the PS4 because I've already found a couple of fun glitches in a couple of the games here.
Oh, God.
One of them is for Evil Within. I'll probably upload it on my channel sometime next week or something.
Oh, God.
But it's fun. I love these glitches in these brand new new-gen consoles because it lets everyone know these are still games. They're still virtual.
Yeah.
We're not quite there. It's
both next-gen consoles, as, besides Wii U, have a function to let you record and upload. And I have gotten some good moments on my Xbox One. I really wish I could have recorded them faster.
It's a feature you didn't know you wanted.
No kidding. It's like a clip show.
Yeah, really, yeah.
It's like, hey, look what I did, and look how silly this messed up.
I can confirm, great for parties.
And yeah, no kidding.
All right, let's move back to the worst over here. Did you have a number 4, or you want me to go ahead?
I just found one.
Oh, go for it then.
Yeah, let's just say my top 5 is actually just 5. There is no top about it. Although I will give number 1 to a game later.
We'll just say that it's a pile, and there is a top hat on top of it that's covered in shit.
There we go.
How's that?
So let's just say, for argument's sake, and the fact that I totally agree with you, and I have agreed with you since the day you and I both played it, it wasn't very good. It was mediocre at best. Conception 2, Children of the Seven Stars.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I say that is because while the combat was a lot different than I expected, it still tried to be something that has been done better before.
The combat wasn't deep enough to carry a game.
It was still interesting. I've never seen anybody take combat like that. And the social aspect is just, I don't know, it's not atrocious. Let's just say overall it was mediocre. It could have been a lot better. Especially since this is the first Conception game we've had over in the States, and they started with 2.
But then I gotta ask, is the first one even that good then, if the second one has this such quality to it?
I don't know, you want to try it?
I don't know, it's only for the PSP.
Right. I could probably find an emulator. We'll try it out one day.
Meh. Who knows?
I don't know.
Well, for my number 4, it'd be so predictable to put, like, Call of Duty on here, or the fucking Wolfenstein game. But when you think about it, all these shooters were actually not that bad this year.
Mm-mm.
If you like the shooter series, well, it's more for what ails you. It's more good content on good new shiny consoles, so go for it. So why don't we just throw a game on here that nobody, not even fans of the franchise, can defend? Enter Escape Dead Island. What a joke. Or at least it would have been a joke if anybody fucking laughed!
Oh my god, I forgot that came out, and yeah, it looked bad.
So let's all just no-scope shoot these motherfuckers in the barrel, huh?
I enjoyed the first Dead Island. It was definitely fun with more people, but I just enjoyed the fact that you could go around and do missions on the fly. It was a really big island. It looked good at the time, and I really enjoyed the first one. And then I played Riptide, and I realized that it was a broken piece of shit.
And then this comes out, and you realize, oh, this wasn't a good game, was it?
Oh, it's just the fact that they're getting worse, which makes me afraid for Dead Island 2 that actually looks good. But I think this might be another case of the trailer is better than the game, which is never a good sign.
Well, hopefully they figured something out. You know,
Sure hope so.
With Far Cry 4 and, you know, all these other open world games coming out, maybe they've perfected it a little, hopefully.
I hope
don't
so.
know, maybe. Yeah. Well, let's bounce back to the good again.
Okay. Oh, you want to go?
I'll go ahead and go, because my number 3 is Shovel Knight.
Oh, yay!
Again, I don't have a physical copy. You know, I could have brought my gamepad up, but that'd be a really intricate visual aid for something that you can't see. Yeah.
And shout out to Shovel Knight for now going multi-platform. Originally, it was just for 3DS, Wii U, and for Windows, I think. Mm-hmm. And now it has expanded to the PlayStation family.
Yes,
and
it has.
hopefully Xbox here soon. I think it already has. I just haven't kept up with the news.
It is a wonderful game. Like, it was one of the first moments in I don't know how many years where I'm sitting there with butterflies in my stomach, just wanting to see what's on the next screen. I was having such a good time. It felt perfect. It's one of those few games where the control is 100% spot on perfect. Everything about this game is just fan-fucking-tastic.
And the best part is, all the deaths are your fault.
Exactly. It's always your fault. It's not because an enemy popped up out of nowhere. It's not because of something glitching. It's very tightly made. A lot of care has been put into this, The characters are fantastic. The gender roles are switched up and all nice, and all of it is just it's very progressive, but it harkens back to an older time in gaming. It is an HD NES classic. Wonderful, wonderful game.
All the accolades.
All of it.
And my number 3, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. And I guess I can partner the 3DS version with it, just because I didn't notice much of a difference. They all play at the same frame rate. They all have the same characters. The stages are a bit different, but you can't go wrong with a fighting game that's Nintendo, which is really surprising to say. Like, I own a lot of fighting games, but I will always come back to Super Smash Bros.
I feel like that I can always come back to Smash Brothers, yeah, because, you see, I'm not that good at 2D fighters. And
no, you're not. You're awful.
I'm awful. But I'm better at 3D fighters. But even then, it's like Twitch gaming, pretty much. It's like Twitch button pressing that could be the difference between a combo and fucking up and getting killed, I can't keep up with it pretty much. But Smash Brothers, it's so simple for everybody. You can always come back and you can always be like a fucking master.
Hopefully here soon they'll fix the online, because it's still pretty trashy, especially for the person who doesn't have the good connection. That's the one thing I have noticed. Like, I've had good matches where I was the host of the game, but then other people have been the host of the game and their connection has also been really good. Mine's been terrible. So it all depends on who starts the match on whether you're going to have a smooth game or not. So maybe we need to try some matches again, and we'll try swapping hosts, see who has the better connection.
Yeah, maybe. I really hope they fix the online service. I think Sakurai said he was going to try and work on that.
I hope so, but I actually hope he gets a vacation.
Yeah.
He pretty much killed himself over this game, which is why there's rumors floating around that he won't do the next one.
Sakurai's always had such a great work ethic. He's always had a great philosophy when it comes to games.
It's almost self-destructive.
Oh, shit. He said that he always hates sequels.
Yeah, because he has to one-up it.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, if you just have this one game you can keep going back to, why would you need to make a sequel? Let's bounce over to the worst again.
Can I go first?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I found one.
What do you got?
I found one, and I really wanted, just as, a joke. I want to do a video.
And the TheNSCL's number 3 worst game of 2014 is...
Monster Monpiece.
Monster Monpiece! What was that again?
Do you know that game?
That sounds familiar. I probably heard about it, reacted, and then threw it away to never think of it again.
I really want to do a video on this, because I know you would have the best reaction ever. Monster Monpiece is I think it's a strategy RPG.
My attention has been piqued.
Oh, sorry. It's a card battle video game.
And my attention has been lost.
Now, card battle games can be pretty good, but that's not the main draw. The main draw, first of all, it's on the PlayStation Vita. There's nothing wrong with that, except for what's the main grab of the PlayStation Vita? What specific function is only specific to the Vita?
I guess the 3G.
Not only the 3G, but I'm talking about the 2 touchscreens. The one on the front and the one on the back.
Yeah, right.
What does Monster Monpiece do to utilize these 2 screens?
Remove clothes.
Worse! In order to capture these different monsters into cards, you need to rub them to death.
Rub.
You need to turn your Vita on its side and basically jack off your PlayStation Vita to rub their clothes off and turn them into cards. Here, I will send you the link where there is an animated GIF of what is going on. Here, copy, paste. There you go. Take a look at that.
The people won't be able to see this, unless if they're watching it on YouTube.
I'll throw something in. They can look it up themselves. I'll even put the link in the description so they see what I'm talking about. It's called Extreme Rub.
Are you kidding me?
No, rub them to death. Rub one out and rub them into your deck. And probably the worst part Neptune from the Neptunia games ends up as one of the cards. And I showed you that one video of that one guy really getting into rubbing one off on Neptune. Oh, God. This sucks.
I'm just... What was the fucking pitch meeting for this? I mean, did a guy walk out into a business room? There's a bunch of executives watching him, saying, "Hey guys, I've got a fantastic idea for a brand new video game for these perverts." He takes a Vita, he puts it between his legs, and starts jacking it off. And then they're all like, "Perfect! This is the future of shitty otaku games!"
It pretty much is. And the sad part is it's from Compile Heart and Idea Factory, the same people who do the Neptunia games, which I love so much.
I don't know what kind of ideas Idea Factory are churning out, but stop the production lines!
Thank God this is the only game, but let me read a little snippet from the thing here. The game utilizes an extreme rub system, known officially as the First Crush Heart Rub mode, to seal cards. Poking, rubbing, and touching the Vita's screen removes the character's clothing in stages, from thick clothes to lightly dressed to skimpy bathing suits. The sealing system is split into two parts. One requires the player to poke or tap on the female character's private parts, and the other requires the player to stroke the entire screen on both sides of the system, pictured. Touching the monster girls also causes their chest and thighs to jiggle in response.
Well, you know what this means now, right?
Yeah, we got to do a video on this.
We've got to play this game. We've got to make a series about it. I don't mean just like, look at this. We have to play it from start to finish. You have the Vita with the capture card. Damn it. That's all you.
God fucking damn it. All right, I'll think of something. It's like
wow.
It's like $15, and I don't think it's worth buying it for $15. If it were to go down to $5, it might be worth my time. But Jesus Christ,
I'll co-pay $7 for you. we can write a contract about this if you want. I can call my lawyer in. We can settle this and make sure that we can legally buy this without being put on any kind of wanted list.
Well, there's only one specific reason why it wasn't, released physically, and it was download only. In fact, they had to censor some cards.
Of course they did.
There were some cards that were way too hot for us Americans. All right, move on to yours. I feel weird.
Rated T for teen?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Actually,
right.
What is it rated?
Huh?
Please tell me you're not right.
Oh, it's probably M.
It's M.
If it's got a D Cero ranking, it's definitely got an M over here.
Okay, you got
yeah,
wow,
absolutely.
the score. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, can we go back to this?
Sure.
I'm looking at review scores.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at Wikipedia review scores, so they don't go for the most, likely candidates. But Game Rankings gave it a 72. Metacritic gave it a 67. But let me go over some of the other ones.
And we give it a 69. Oh!
Yeah, no kidding. Famitsu gave it a 33 out of 40. Wow. IGN gave it a 4.9 out of 10.
33 out of 40, which means that those 4 reviewers looked at this game and go, well, this isn't exactly what I'm looking for in a game like this.
Just wait until you see what the rest of them are. Hardcore Gamer gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Tech Gaming gave it an 84. RPG Site gave it an 8 out of 10. Gaming Age gave it a B+.
I hope that those are scores just because of how completely ridiculous the concept is.
Well, I would like to think that it's actually a really fun game. You just got to get past all the creepy.
Because there's always something. Usually when you look at these crazy perverted Japanese things, usually if they're done with any kind of artful mind to it, there's always something to it. There's always something.
Well, now I'm curious, because do you know Otomedia's Excellent, the really shameful shooter I have?
That you have?
Yes, that I have.
Right.
It is actually a really fun game. You just got to get past the really terrible feeling you get while playing it.
It's a cultural difference, I'm sure.
Yeah, no kidding. But I just got to say, they mask really good games and, sexual things to keep people away. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just the saddest person to actually buy these games and find out they were really good.
Do you ever watch advertisements for Japanese porn?
No.
They're actually really funny. There was this one where this guy's this girl's trying to figure out how our on-demand works. And then this guy just comes in. He's like, "What you doing?" You know, just keeps talking in Japanese about how you can order our videos on demand through the service, and then you can receive. He explains that you can receive messages when your video's been downloaded or whatever onto your box. And he takes the cell phone, puts it between her chest, downloads a video, and then the camera swoops over, and then her chest starts wiggling because, oh, we got a message, you know, whatever, you know. And then he just walks over and says, "You got the message!"
Oh, Lord.
And then, of course, the most hardcore porn starts playing on the TV screen, and the girl's just kind of like, "All right, I'm getting out of here." And then the guy starts watching it like a film critic would. You know, it's kind of like, you know, scratching his chin. Huh. And it's like, oh my God, I love this country.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, we are getting down into a very, very naughty place, so let's just get back to the best list again, okay? We spent way too much time on that, but I'm kind of glad you did.
I'll look into it.
Because I was thinking, how the fuck are we going to pad out this time?
I don't know. Your next worst?
Next best? Oh, wait.
No, you haven't done your worst yet. I completely overtook it.
Oh, shit. Well, we're just retreading old ground because I've put Conception 2 as my third worst.
Okay.
Oh my God, I knew something was wrong the first minute I saw that perverted priest. The problem is, though, this is Atlas and Spike Chunsoft. Spike fucking Chunsoft.
Match
The
made in
same
heaven.
people who did the Zero Escape series, 999 and Virtuous Last Reward. They've been making great stories for over 20 years. What's that one game? Banshee's Last Cry, I think it's called.
Yeah.
You can get it on the iPhone for like $5. That's like a game they made from like the late 80s. That's been around forever. Chunsoft has been making great stories. What the fuck is this bullshit? This boring, generic, crappy piece of shit. I feel... I can't even describe words about how crap this game is.
I'm sure if I gave you an entire hour spot, you could talk loads into it.
I could dump loads into it. I mean, you just can't do that. It's so boring. There is nothing to the dungeons at all. It's just big old room with some enemies and maybe some treasure chests, go through a hall. Big old room with some enemies and some treasure chests, go through a hall. To go into another big old room with treasure chests and enemies, go through a hall. Oh, that's a dead end. Gotta go back through a hall to that big old save room, maybe go down another door to go down another fucking hall. There's no differentiation. There's no variation. I played dungeon crawlers from 2001 that have way more fun ideas than this game does. Evolution, the world of
Yeah, I
Secret
told you if I
Device.
gave him an hour, he'd go absolutely
Dreamcast.
ballistic.
2001. I think
Yep,
that
there he
might have
goes.
been made by
Away from his microphone, he's
PSP,
still
but
talking.
It's so fantastic. It's got better characters.
There he keeps going. He's still going.
They actually have traps that feel like it's. Conception 2 is not a very good game.
Oh, I couldn't tell.
The girls are fucking generic as fuck too.
Oh, all right,
I mean,
all right, let's,
do you remember those girls from Persona 4? How much personality that they all had? Chie was the spunky one who liked steak and liked to kick things a lot. Rise was the super teen pop idol that's come to high school and she's trying to adjust to living the humble life again that she kind of enjoys, and her life is catching up with her. And what have we got in Conception 2? Well, we got the girl who likes to swim. We got the girl who's short, has tiny boobies. They got the girl who's... Actually, we got one girl who's a ninja priestess thing.
That's awesome.
It's wildly inconsistent.
You got your teacher.
I'm so glad that I got the soundtrack with this game, because the soundtrack is just fucking awful.
It seems you have a lot of vinegar to spit, so let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah. I'm done anyway. That's really the only game that I've played that's on my worst list. The other two are just conceptual ideas.
Well, the hilarious thing is you've played more than me, which is hilarious.
Because there's good moments, there's just small good moments peppered in between, like a twinkling of a good game in there, but then it's just buried under more boring crap.
I guess it's for the different mindset, because a lot of people love these types of games. It's got the dating sim angle, which a lot of people were expecting, And it's also got the dungeon crawler angle. If you're not expecting much, it's great.
I wanted Persona 4. I got Trinity Universe.
Maybe this is why you were so disappointed. You were expecting something else.
I probably was, because, again, it was Atlas, the people who made Persona and Trauma Center and all these other great, fantastic games, and Spike Chunsoft, who have woven the most wonderful storylines and characters I've ever seen in games. I wanted something more than that. And if it's Conception 2, they made a big deal about this. It's, it's coming to the States. Made these 7 characters, all that, and then they just released this mediocre pile of junk. What the fuck?
I will concede to that their advertising was over the top for something that was so average. I have a strange feeling this is what Atlas is doing just to ensure sales. They will hype something up, and then it falls straight to the ground.
And before you think, you shouldn't get excited for crossovers because they're never good. My number 6 best game, Phoenix Wright Cross Professor Layton.
Number 6?
Yeah. Oh, what's that? My top 2 aren't what you think?
No, I was just thinking... I don't know. I got mixed up in your counting. Anyway.
I'm saying that's the one I had to cut off because it just... it was really good, though. I loved it. That's a good game. Play that game instead of this fucking shit.
Wait, that's one you cut out?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, God! What's your real number 2?
My real number 2 is Super Smash Bros. 4.
Well, this is going to be interesting. This shows how many games I've played. Do you have anything to add?
It's hard. It's so fucking hard. Super Smash Bros. 4 is fucking difficult as shit. Because I made it that way. You can set up your own sort of gameplay in Super Smash Bros. 4. It can be whatever game you want it to be. It's very malleable to a player. It's really set up so that anybody and everybody can play it. And it's a lot of fun. I love it. Smash Brothers is very, very, very important to me, and I'm glad that the developers realize that and don't take us for granted, like many other developers would.
Am I allowed to put a tie at my number 2?
I guess. Well, I guess if you want to tie, then, in that case, Shovel Knight and Phoenix Wright are tied. How's that?
That'll work.
Does that make you feel better? Because that just makes me feel better.
Yes. Okay, so you get a tie and I get a tie. For my number 2... 2 radically different games. Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, and Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1. Visual novel-wise, I love both Phoenix Wright and Professor Layton. They always have good stories. They always keep me entertained. And mixing up both universes was a match made in heaven. Rebirth 1... was a complete overhaul and remake of the first Neptunia game, which sucked. It was slow, and it looked like a PS2 game that made its way onto the PS3. They changed absolutely everything, including the script, and it made it 1,000 times better. It is another reason to own a Vita. Trust me on this.
Well, I don't own a Vita, so hey.
Well, when you get a Vita, that's one to get.
I gotta get Danganronpa first.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Can I go again for worst?
Yeah, we're at number 2 for worst, I take?
Yep, I found one.
All right, go ahead.
And I actually own this one.
Go for it.
Do you remember how we were talking, saying, when you get past the mask of over-sexualization, you can actually find a good game in there?
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't one of them. Akiba's Trip, Undead and Undressed.
That's one of those cheap games for the PS4, and I kept looking at it thinking, do I really want to? No. Because the general consensus of what I hear, yourself included, is that just when you think it's going to be a good game, it's not.
It's really not. It's a brawler, and the only way to kill the vampires in Akihabara is to strip them of their clothing to expose them to the sunlight to kill them.
Is that what they call it?
Vampires.
No, Akihabara?
Well, that's how I pronounce it.
Okay. Because if the characters did that, that'd be terrible.
No, it's just me.
It's Akihabara.
But, yeah, It's very slow, and the camera is terrible. And for a city that's known to be Otaku Central, supposed to be one of the busiest places in Japan, it's barren. And it's really sad. I was looking at one of the advertisements for the PS4 version. One of the selling points is, there's more people!
Woo!
That's not a good sign.
People!
That's not a good sign in a game that's supposed to glorify Akiba. That's really, really sad. There is a Sega store. They got that detail down. There is the Sega store.
Of course there is.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of Sega stores just plastered all around this virtual Akiba. But as far as... I actually want to take a trip. You want to take a trip to Akiba?
Why not?
Let's take a trip and then podcast about it while we're there.
Yeah. We'll trip in Akiba. I'll bring the LSD.
And I'll just go around saying, that's not like the game. I played that part, but it was still terrible. That part wasn't in the game. It should have been. It would have made it a lot better. I've been burned on a lot of games that I thought were going to be good later. This wasn't one of the cases.
We should stream it for PS4.
Either stream it for PS4 or I have the Vita and PS3 version. We'll try it there.
I guess this game really had to be a multi-platform Sony bestseller.
Which is so sad. That means Sony had nothing.
My second worst was pertaining to the 30 seconds I played in it, Yoshi's New Island. The reason being, I'm thinking back to all these wonderful Nintendo 3DS games that have come out in recent years that have taken the formula of their set-in IPs and switched it up, modernizing it, making it better, taking things that don't work and cutting them out and trying new ideas because, it's still kind of relatively cheap technology compared to what we can do nowadays, so go for it. And it's worked great. Kirby Triple Deluxe, fucking love it. It's really just a 3D Kirby, and I love it. Pokemon X and Y takes a tired formula and kind of mixes up a little bit, and the result is all the better. What else? We got fucking New Super Mario Bros. 2 with a focus on coins. That means that you're going to get every single coin because, it counts for it. That changes the gameplay too. All of these updates, all these tweaks have been really fantastic, especially Zelda, especially fucking, I can't see everything over there, but, Animal Crossing, there's another one. So, what do we do with Yoshi?
Make it boring.
Let's make it fucking boring and for 2-year-olds.
Oh, and don't forget, we need to put a pipe at the beginning of every stage just in case you, hold right on the D-pad and accidentally fall off when you're not looking at the screen.
Future Niskel editing this right now. I'm talking to you.
Yes.
First of all, edit out all the cuffs and the shit I did, back then. That's
okay.
really kind of... Okay. Also, right now, I want you to play the original theme for Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo right now.
You got it.
Okay. Now, I want you to play the original theme for Yoshi's New Island. That alone should be why this is on the worst list. Whoever greenlit that idea should be fired!
Well, we got to appeal to today's child crowd. The kid gamer. The 3-year-olds playing 3DS.
You know what would have appealed to me a lot more, and probably to the 3-year-olds a lot more?
A fun game?
Yoshi Dubstep!
Oh.
Go!
I don't have anything for that, I'm sorry.
If I find anything, I'll give it to you. Alright, well, that's enough of that. That turned into a fun thing.
Now, your number one pick, which I now know what it is...
Well, actually, why don't we talk about some games that just didn't make the list?
Okay.
Just cut. Because I want to talk about Phoenix Wright and Professor Layton a lot more.
Well, that was technically tied, so why don't you talk about that while I compile an honorable mentions list?
Was it everything I wanted it to be? Yeah. It was... I mean, everyone else is giving it, oh, it's 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, you know, it's great, but, you know, it doesn't feel like it utilized everything. I don't care! I had fun. It was my two heroes coming together. The twisted turn made me go, oh my god! I was giddy in my seat the entire time, and that's probably the reason why I didn't put it on my best list, because it was a game that I enjoyed on a very, very personal degree, and I didn't think that I could explain it very well.
No, I totally agree with that.
It's like, I like it because I like it. Shut up. It's fan service that I'm glad I held out 4 years for. I'll put it that way. It
was worth the wait, wasn't it?
Oh, and the game came out in 2012 anyway, so technically it's a game for 2012.
No, not for us, so it counts. They had to bring in the Brit.
4 fucking years.
Oh, get over it. You finally got it, and it was worth the wait. If I'm going to do an honorable mention... Let me find it again. Hold on.
Well, while you're thinking, another one for me is Mario Kart 8.
Oh, yeah.
Again, more giddy fun. Just driving through all the colorful levels, and even though the controls take a while to get used to, it's still a lot of fun. But my problem is online mode. It gets to the point where the only way to get good in the game is to drift every single corner.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then it doesn't become fun, it becomes formulaic.
That's why you gotta play it with friends all the time.
Gotta play it with friends, yeah, got it. It's
all day, every day.
Still fun, though. Can't complain.
Here we go, I got a couple for you. Hyrule Warriors.
Another good one.
Probably one of the weirdest mashups in the Zelda universe, but so good. So good because of that mashup. Just the different characters you can use, the fact that this is really DLC heavy, and it's actually good DLC, like new characters, new weapons to use. It's just, there was so much love put into this one that I can't wait to see the next Zelda game. It actually made me want to go back and play some of my favorite Zelda games, just because, you know, they're bringing stuff back from the older games, putting it into this one and glorifying it. And it was also really fun to play with another person. By myself, I don't think it would have been as good, but I'm into derivative games like that, so maybe it would have been a lot better.
Well, the thing about the Dynasty Warrior games is that they perfected the hack and slash genre. It feels really good to just tear into a big group of enemies, you know, seeing your number go up and, you know, seeing the screen lag because of how much death is going on screen.
Yeah.
It's a game that Nintendo put forward in collaboration with Koei to say, thanks for being a Zelda game. Thanks for being a Zelda fan.
You are the Zelda game.
Take 2. Thanks for being a Zelda fan. Here is a game that can tide you over while we work on the next one, which also looks fantastic.
And also, just a small side note, shout out to the Wii U processor. It can handle a lot of people on screen, and it still looks really nice.
I think that's where the Wii U shines. Yeah, it's in 1080p, and it doesn't have good graphics as PS4 or Xbox One, but what made the GameCube shine of the others was the bright colors and the great design that it had.
Oh, yeah. And since you did another honorable mention, I'll go ahead and throw one out there. Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's another good one.
I'll put both games on the list just because there's not much difference. I know there's a lot more added to the second one.
Both can be standalone, though, because they both have different elements of gameplay, though.
Right. But I just wanted to bring up the fact that a game that specifically it advertised itself as a jump scare game. As soon as you play the game, you know exactly what you're getting into. There is no need to get mad at the game for scaring you, because that's what it wants. A game that's specifically made to scare you, it uses characters that can be scary without the jump scares. It also makes really simplistic gameplay into really, like, high, intense moments. You're always looking for animatronics. And then you know when they're there, when you can't close the doors anymore. That's probably the thing that killed me the most when I was playing, is as soon as I couldn't close the doors, I was like, shit, they're in the room.
Well, I think for survival horror, it's fucking unprecedented. Here we have this intense, scary situation where you're so limited you can't even move. You are stuck in one spot.
That also helps it. And by the way, that Five Nights at Freddy's video I made, that was 100% my honest reaction when I first saw the jump scare.
Laughing?
Laughing.
That's what I got too, because it's interesting, it's neat, it's a nice gesture.
Bah!
Like, ah.
Oh, look at you! You tried to kill me, and
he
you
just
did.
wants a hug.
I also love the theories.
Yeah, the headcanons and the sort of ideas that you can allude to all the different characters is quite fantastic.
Well, it's also when somebody puts it in a 1+1 kind of scenario where they fit everything together, and it just goes to show how much ingenuity can be made with not a lot of story. So it's kind of like the developers had this entire thing all planned out, and then it's up to you, the player, to figure it out, and I love games that do that.
Did you hear about the 1987 glitch?
No.
Once you beat the main game, you can set... There's like a night 7 or whatever, where you can edit the different AI levels of the 4 main mascots or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there's a story point moment in the game called the Bite of 87. Under speculation, Foxy bit the frontal lobe off of somebody in 1987. That's what they call the Bite of 87. So people who thought that they could try and unlock something set the AI levels to 1, 9, 8, and 7. Hopefully to unlock something. But Scott caught this. Scott Cawthon, the developer, caught this. And so he released an update where if you enter 1987, Golden Freddy appears and crashes your game. I'm thinking now, that's a guy who understands his game, understands his audience, and knows exactly what he wants to do. And it's very smartly designed. And that's another honorable mention on my list because, he's just good on you, man. Good on you.
Oh, I love it
when
developers, not exactly poke fun at their players, but know what they want and gives it to them.
Self-awareness. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing.
I've got a couple more honorable mentions. What do you have?
Really just the games I've had fun with over the months. I would put Dark Souls 2 down on here because I just got into Dark Souls 1 this year.
That took your life.
For
months.
It has changed my life on games. I'm playing the original Bayonetta again because, before I get to the sequel, I want to play the first one again because I play Dark Souls, I'm a better gamer. I'm still getting Stone Awards, though, but still, I'm better. I see a brand new philosophy in games now. I understand when to dodge and how to attack and what my plan of action should be. It made me love games again. I'm sure Dark Souls 2 is the same thing, but I guess I can get it for PS4 now.
There you go.
So, hey.
Get those definitive editions if you haven't gotten the games in the previous generation. That's what I did with Grand Theft Auto 5. Well worth it, too. I guess another honorable mention, I'll just name them off in just a really quick reason. Fairy Fencer F. A really stupid name, but a really fun game. They actually took the basic outline of what they did for Neptunia Rebirth and put it into a console RPG, and it's actually really, really funny. It's a very good RPG.
Fairy Fencer F is fairly funny?
Yes.
Fairly fucking funny?
Even that. You're too quick for me today. But that was really good.
That's what I get for kicking you out of bed and throwing you onto the podcast chair. Happy New Year! Pff, get somewhere.
Welcome to 2015. Another one I'm just going to throw out there. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. If you like Axis fighters, you can't get any better than this one. It has been fine-tuned to perfection. And the added characters, I didn't think they would work, and they totally do work. Risei's probably one of the funniest characters I've ever fought with. And let's see, there was one more. Sorry, I'm like, oh, duh, Bayonetta 2.
See, I haven't played Bayonetta 2 yet, but from what I can tell, and from what I can tell with the improved story and characters, I can tell I'm going to fucking love it. But I want to get the first Bayonetta out of the way first, so I can take it on with full hours. Because now I'm playing it a second time, it's actually starting to make sense.
That's
like
frightening.
It's like, oh my god, now it's crystal clear. Why didn't I see it the first time? See, I've been a changed gamer since I last played it.
You can't go wrong with Platinum Games. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, The Wonderful 101, Bayonetta. You can't go wrong with those. They are so damn good, but very complex. I'll give them that.
You can go wrong with Legend of Korra, though.
We don't talk about that one.
We can talk about Korrasami, though.
I'm really interested to see why that one didn't do as well. Because, like, a lot of fans of Platinum Games, as soon as they saw Core, they're like, well, shit, I haven't watched the show, but I gotta get this.
I think it was just a tie-in, because the show was about to end. And,
yeah, I can see that. They probably didn't have enough time to perfect it. That's what I'm guessing.
There's a game on Steam called Dev Tycoon, and when you play that, you actually do kind of understand how the rules of the game industry work a little better.
Oh.
Sometimes just to raise money, if you want to work on a project you want to, you have to take on other jobs, other publishing deals. That's probably what this was.
Okay, that makes sense. And, of course, last but not least, Persona Q, Shadow of the Labyrinth. A mixture of Etrian Odyssey and Persona. It's very hard and very unforgiving if you accidentally don't save and you have to go back 2 hours. But just know that it is very rewarding when you actually get past something. That's the Shin Megami Tensei way. It is rewarding to get past a very difficult part. Just like Dark Souls or Demon Souls or what have you. It is very rewarding to get past one part that you got stuck on.
Fucking tell me about it. It's like crack. I mean, because once you overcome that obstacle, you're like, I did it! What's next?
With a couple broken arms, and you're clutching a stab wound.
And then you take a couple steps forward, couple more steps, keep going. Oh, good, I found a bonfire. Let's keep going. What's next?
Exactly. Just like, okay, cool, I'm saved.
Repeat ad infinitum.
Revitalized. Oh, my.
Well, I think that's enough honorable mentions. I mean, I think I had a couple more, maybe.
I could probably think of a couple more, but I bought more games than I actually beat, and that's my New Year's resolution, is to actually beat 30 games in 2015. There's a lot of them that I've left unfinished, but I'll get to that a bit later. We'll do that in closing thoughts. We'll do gaming New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
But who do you want to go first with your number one of the year?
Well, I'm curious as to what your number one is, because I thought it was going to be Smash. So I'll go on to my number one.
Okay.
Which is, I think you figured it out by now.
Oh, yeah.
I really feel bad about making it the number one game of the year, released this late in the year. But from the fact that I blink and all of a sudden 4 hours have passed and I feel like I haven't really done anything, and it's really been scratching an itch that I've been wanting to itch ever since I beat Skyrim. Number one goes to Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, you're so mainstream.
Oh, don't say that. Because, alright, I loved Skyrim. Everybody loves Skyrim. If you don't love Skyrim, get the fuck out. You're not a true gamer. Seriously. Because Skyrim is like, I think it's one of the pinnacle sandbox games out there, because you can literally do whatever you want, whenever you want to, however you want, pretty much. And I think it stands a testament as to what all other Western RPGs should shoot for. Dragon Age Inquisition comes just short of being better than Skyrim, because there's still a couple of nickel knocks, but it is just short. And that's already way better than a lot of other RPGs out there. I'm having so much fun right now. Oh my god. Being my own character is awesome. I can shape my character into whatever I want it to be. Right now I'm playing a female elf who is like a dual sword wielder right now. And right now she's pursuing a relationship with Josephine, the Eastern European, I guess she would be, not politician. She helps work with the nobility, so I get good. It's just, well, point is, 4 hours in, the game opens up. And it's just more massive than I can even describe. It's just such a fantastic game. Thank you to all who had suggested it to me. I mean, it's so much fun. My god.
I'll definitely have to give it a shot. I enjoyed Dragon Age 1 when I played it on the Xbox. It's just the interface wasn't up to snuff to a PC RPG.
Well, the thing is, I wanted a game like Skyrim and like Mass Effect. And Dragon Age Origins satisfied that for a little while, but then I was put off about, A, how fucked the navigation is, and B, it didn't feel as deep going in later. It feels like it kind of lost momentum, and now there's not really a whole lot to keep it going, It felt very tedious. It felt very limiting, and I just couldn't finish it. Dragon Age 2, of course, we don't even talk about.
No, of course, that's it's a myth.
Yeah,
It's like you play Dragon Age 1, you're like, okay, what's the sequel? Inquisition, awesome.
exactly, pretty much, and you can do that too. Because Inquisition is so much better. It's got the open world aspect. You know, sure, it's not really totally open world like Skyrim. It's got these certain zones where you can explore, but there's like whole tons of them, and they're massive, and they got tons of quests, and there's a shit ton to do, and you feel like you're getting more powerful, and it's just a lot of fun. Thank you, BioWare. You didn't fuck up with this one like you did with Mass Effect 3. And no, I'm not talking about just because of the ending, because that game was shit.
Or Dragon Age 2.
Yeah. But no, Dragon Age Inquisition, number 1 of 2014, because it's so fucking deep, and if I hadn't played Dark Souls 1 this year, Dark Souls 2 would have probably been number 1.
Okay.
Alright, what's your number 1? Cooking Mama 5!
Bon appetit. That's
Oh
right.
my god!
Actually, this one I didn't have to think too hard about. My number 1 is a PlayStation Vita title, Danganronpa 2.
I probably could have seen that coming.
You probably could have. But what's surprising is, I was juggling back and forth between the first one and the second one. No matter what, one of these games was going to be number 1 this year. And they both came out very close to each other, about seven months apart.
Mm-hmm.
First one came out in February, second one came out in September. And after finishing the second one, I was like, wow. Spike Chunsoft, you did not disappoint me.
Like they
at
did with
all.
Conception 2, am I right?
Yeah, how about them 3DS video games? No, let's talk about Danganronpa 2. The first one was astronomical in my eyes. It was probably one of the best experiences I've had on the Vita. And overall, storytelling-wise, it's absolutely bonkers, but I love it for it. And then the second one came out. Now, let me tell you about my history with, very short history with games that have a mystery. I have a tendency to guess what's going to happen by the end. Some of the Phoenix Wright cases, I was able to guess who the bad guy was before the game told me who it was. And with Professor Layton, while it did keep me in the dark most of the times, by the time it got to the conclusion, while I still didn't expect it, it was kind of out of nowhere and told to me. I like to figure out the mystery myself. The Danganronpa games. I tried my damnedest to figure out what was going to happen next, and it fooled me every single time.
That's good storytelling, then. Always keep you guessing, always keep you wondering. It stays inside of you and eats at you.
And this is probably the only game in existence right now that has more than 15 characters, and you never want to see any of them die.
I want to see a couple of them die.
It's just, as soon as you get to know them, you're thinking, oh, okay, well, this person's not going to die, and then later on they do. And probably the thing that killed me the most about Danganronpa 2 is I loved every single one of them from the first time I got to speak with the characters, and I was very, very sad when a lot of my favorites died, especially early on. They would have been, better off surviving until the very end, but damn it, it ripped my heart out, and I love it for it. And I think I posted this on Twitter. As soon as Monokuma returned into the story, I was like, I missed you, baby. You were probably the best part of the first game. I know a lot of people are going to die now, and I'm going to be very disappointed, but this is where the narrative starts to kick off, and it starts to become one of the best stories you'll ever hear or read. And that's why I'm doing a Let's Play of the first game now, because I want to show everybody who doesn't have a Vita.
It must be fucking long. I looked on the feed, and we're going, part 17 right now?
I just reached episode 20, and it's going past 8 hours.
And you just beat the first chapter.
Right.
The first chapter. I'm thinking, holy fuck, how long is this thing?
Yeah, there was the prologue and the first chapter. It's a long game.
No kidding. God.
But that's also going for that's talking with everybody. You got 16 people to go through in the second game. In the first game, there's 15. but you got a lot of people to talk with, and they're basically like the social links in Persona. They're really shortened in comparison to the Persona 4 social links, but it is definitely worth talking with everybody because they all have an interesting backstory. Also, the personality changes. You might think somebody is all sweet and innocent, and then they go ballistic. And that's probably one of the best parts. You never expect what's going to happen with the interactions you're going to have and how the murders and mysteries are going to pad out to the very end. Highly recommended. If you own a Vita, this is the reason. This is one of the reasons to own a Vita.
If you're listening, buy me a Vita and I'll get Danganronpa so I can, I don't know, yeah. Visit my Patreon, donate to my PayPal. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Woo!
Well, speaking of fantastic stories, I'm going back to another old favorite of mine. This is like the third time I bought these games, but...
Oh, Ace Attorney.
Ace Attorney Trilogy.
I still have to get that.
It looks great.
It's not as glitchy anymore, is it?
It's not as glitchy, and, well, some of the animations aren't as smooth as they could be, but the art looks fantastic. You can really get more emotion out of them. It just looks like it's been cleaned up and shinified. Looks great. And it comes with the Japanese version, too, which I'm excited about, too.
I must ask, did they fix the typo?
Which typo?
Wasn't there a typo in the first one that was, like, it really stuck out? Or was that the second one?
The second one at the end. The miracle.
Oh, that's right.
The miracle never happened. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay, let me know if they fixed that.
All right.
If so, that is the defining trait of remastering your games is actually going back and fixing your issues.
Well, there's one more typo I found in Rise from the Ashes. It's where the judge has his breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
Then he goes, "Wait, I'm not the one on trail here."
Oh, come on.
So I'm gonna check and see if they fix that.
All right. You want to do some Q&A before we leave 2014 forever and never look back?
We didn't do our number one worst game yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yours is obvious, so let's go with yours.
Yoshi's New Island. I have never been this disappointed in a Nintendo game.
No shit.
I was expecting, a return to form. I mean, I can get past the art style. I didn't like it when I first came out, and I thought I was going to completely skip this one. But I was just thinking, I love Yoshi's Island. A lot of people do. Why not play the new one? It's on the 3DS. It's handheld. I can get behind that. That's nice. And Yoshi's Woolly World is coming out here soon. I want to play that. It sucks. It's slow. The art style, I never got used to it. It's oil pastels and it just doesn't look good. There are one-ups everywhere. It takes all the precautions to make sure that baby doesn't die. I made a whole video explaining how Nintendo thinks you're a little child with this. The opening theme is terrible. And it's just the fact that it doesn't play like the old Yoshi's Island. They're trying so hard to rekindle the old flame that was the SNES Yoshi's Island, and they can never do it right.
Well, I did some research and I figured out who made this game.
Who made it?
It's a company called Arzest. It wasn't really Nintendo.
Oh, it was a third party?
Yep. This is like their first major solo project. What else have they done in the past? Street Pass Me Plaza.
Fuck.
And
well, I guess all is forgiven.
We Play Motion.
Oh God, are you kidding me?
By that, they only did Spooky Search, Jump Park, and Cone Zone. And you gave Yoshi to these guys?
Well, you know what? That explains everything. I just really want to play Woolly World.
I hope it'll be better than this fucking shambles.
It will. I guarantee it will. Your worst?
My worst goes to probably the most obvious of 2014, Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric.
Thank you.
Yes.
I noticed it wasn't on my list, and it definitely had to be on yours, so there you go.
Now, I'm a guy who really likes 3D Sonic. Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast, fucking love it. I don't care what the fuck you say. Sonic Adventure 2, fucking love it. I don't care what you say. Sonic Heroes, fucking hate it. I don't care what you say. Shadow the Hedgehog, I like it. I don't care what you say. Now, and Sonic 06, fucking terrible game. Everybody knows that. But everybody loves it because it's a terrible game. There's so many interesting ways that it can fuck up. So many interesting ways that it can just make you go, oh god, are you fucking kidding me? So many interesting ways to amaze you and dumbfound you. Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric has all the terribleness of Sonic 06, but nothing interesting. There's no personality to the game. There's nothing. Nothing at all.
And I know we've brought this up before, but Sonic 06 runs better than Rise of Lyric.
Sonic 06 runs at Sonic 06 runs at 60 frames per second.
There we go, thank you.
Consistent.
Consistent, yeah. That's funny.
Well, Sonic 06 runs and looks better than Sonic Boom. How the fuck is that possible?
I don't know.
This is just some developer that came along and shat this out. This wasn't Sonic Team trying to reinvent Sonic in time for the holidays. This is just a bad game by a bad company.
What was it? I think it was the official Sonic Twitter actually tweeted to the team that did Rise of Lyric and said, you know it's bad when we're not the reason that people hate Sonic, or something to that effect. It was really insulting, and I loved it.
Well, yeah, it should be insulting for the insult that this game gave us.
No, I think it was like, and you wonder why people don't like 3D Sonic games. Or something like that. It was really funny.
Even for a 3D Sonic game, it's bad, because at least 3D Sonic games are interesting. I have fun playing them. It's fun going way too fast and trying to figure out the controls and the level orients with crazy-ass, awesome rock music playing behind you. I don't know. It's kind of awesome. It's like I have fun playing games or something. I don't know what kind of fun you can have with this fucking shit, though.
It was a cheap cash-in on a cartoon that's actually pretty decent. They wanted to make sure it was on time, and they suffered dearly for it.
I hear the 3DS version is better. I mean, not much better, but better.
It's probably passable, at the very least.
From what I can tell, it looks like sort of a revamped 3DS version of Sonic Rush.
No, I'll be good with that. Sonic Rush was great.
That kind of interests me, because you don't have these stupid-ass hub levels, at least I don't think.
Because it doesn't suck.
I don't have any of the 3DS Sonic games that are ports of their console counterparts, because I don't know how far they can go in terms of quality, so I don't know. Someone's going to... See, everyone's talking about how bad the Wii U version is, but no one's talking about the 3DS version, because no one fucking buys that one. Which I hear is better. I don't know.
Every time there's a port, or just like a side story that's on the 3DS, apart from like the Big Boy version, I guess they turn them into like 2D side-scrollers, which I'd be okay with. Like Sonic Colors, I really wanted to play the DS version because they turned it into Sonic Rush, which was probably one of the better handheld Sonic games.
I think I'll start small and start with Sonic Generations on 3DS.
That might be a good choice. They actually have different stages in that one,
which kind of interests me, so maybe I'll check that out one day. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Either way,
I'll test out some Sonic games.
Sonic could still be fun, but not with this shit.
Nope.
This is the worst thing that Sonic has made in a long time.
And that's saying something.
But the difference between this game and Sonic 06 is that people will still talk about Sonic 06 5 years from now.
Gotta go fast. Actually, not really.
Any honorable mentions for the worst list? Oh, I know. It's all of your favorite ones. Ha 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 ha. Anyway.
We actually got tons more questions than last time. Maybe it's because I actually advertised this.
This is going to be a longer episode then, so let's keep it rolling.
That's okay. End of the year, more time to talk. I don't know.
Go for it.
Let's see. I've got a few here. Let's start with a really easy one. First of all, somebody agrees that Dragon Age Inquisition is really good. That's probably where you got the idea to play it anyway.
Then I was looking for releases for the PS4, and there's not a lot of good things for it right now.
Right. Another one, somebody was asking, now that Suikoden 1 and 2 are coming out for the PlayStation Vita, what are the chances of us getting a Let's Play on them? Close to none.
How about 0.1%?
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I've never played a Suikoden game.
Well, not that Suikoden's a bad game. It's just that
No.
It's just that we don't like to roleplay RPGs a whole lot unless if we know them front to back. Like we can't blind run an RPG. That's not going to happen.
No.
Not going to happen. It's got to be an RPG we know front and back, sideways, left, right, up and down. And 2, Suikoden is way too goddamn long.
Just like a lot of RPGs, they are way too goddamn long.
Welcome to part 658 of my Suikoden 1 Let's Play. I think we're going to get to the next to last boss this time. I don't know. Fuck.
Actually, did you know that as soon as your playlist, your YouTube playlist hits a certain point, they stop counting how long it is?
This begins my 4th playlist of my Suikoden 1 Let's Play.
Like, Persona 4 Golden. It's up to 153 parts, last I checked, and it stopped counting how long it was because it was so long. It's probably past 80 hours, I'm guessing.
All right, next question.
Next question. Have you ever heard or read Assassination Classroom? To put it in words that I do not think can be considered as spoiling, it is the exact opposite of Danganronpa in objective and antagonist.
So it's Battle Royale?
Actually, I've done a bit of reading on what Assassination Classroom is. Basically, an alien comes down to Earth, and just to explore the ways of the human world, he decides to become a teacher for a middle school. And on the first day, he specifically says, "Hey, I'm going to blow up the Earth. You've got 2 years to try and kill me. I want to see you do it so that I don't blow up the Earth." Now, keep in mind, this is a bunch of middle schoolers, so they have to try to assassinate their teacher in order to save the world. They got 2 years to do it.
Wedgie!
Thankfully, not that juvenile. There was one part I saw where, and this teacher isn't like high society evil. He's actually still helping them out with their studies. But out of nowhere, you'll see like a middle schooler take out a dagger and try to stab him, and he'll like throw out a tentacle to stop their hand. It looked interesting at the very least. It's a neat concept.
Seems comical. Maybe I'll check it out when I got time.
Yeah. Funimation just got the rights to it, so hopefully a simulcast will be coming next year. And I think that's another one for me. So wow, we have a long comment here.
Oh boy.
Also, insert angry defending Skyward Sword rant here. I freaking love that game. So, in other words, you suck, UDJ.
I don't give a shit. That game was shit.
Although he does agree with you in Black and White, just like a lot of people do.
To clarify, I realize that Skyward Sword isn't the worst game I've ever played. It's just the most disappointing game I've ever played.
Disappointing is a good word to use on that.
The worst game probably goes to Ride to Hell. Yeah, definitely Ride to Hell.
And we actually Let's Played that game. Jesus Christ.
We nothing! You didn't play shit!
No, I experienced it. I experienced it with you, and that was good enough. Hey, by the way, do you want to Let's Play Duck Dynasty?
Sure.
I don't own it.
Do it. Go. No, go do it. Go fucking do it.
I'm not going to buy it for $50. Are you nuts? I'll wait till it's a budget title, and then we'll talk.
Yeah. All right, next question.
What games did you think... Wait. Oh, okay. Which game did you think was going to be amazing, but then you bought it and it turned out to be disappointing?
Conception 2, Skyward Sword. The list can go on.
This game will never leave my sights. Time and Eternity. It looked awesome, and it sucked. What games are you highly looking forward to in 2015?
Dark Souls 2.
New Zelda looks pretty awesome.
New Star Fox. Oh my god, new Star Fox.
And it's actually, like flying.
I'm so excited. I don't care where it goes. I just want a new Star Fox. I want a new Star Fox. Give me a new goddamn Star Fox. It doesn't fucking suck.
You know it's happening, and it's pretty much guaranteed that it's going to happen. Oh, Majora's Mask 3D. I've been waiting for that game for years.
Another good one.
And probably just a few that are on my list. If they finally do bring the spin-off Danganronpa game, I'm all over that. And, of course, anything with Neptunia in the name, no matter how stupid it is. And UDJ, what happened to your circle pad?
So I was taking a shit. That's the end. That's it. Oh, wait, no.
okay.
Okay.
It just snapped off.
So I was taking a shit playing online Smash because, hey, we can do that now. Ha ha ha. And my circle pad was starting to get loose because I've been playing Smash pretty religiously because the Wii U version hadn't come out yet. I don't think. So I'm working it pretty hard. I can tell that it's about to come loose. And then I was just playing with this one guy, and then it came off. And I was like, shit. But luckily I fixed it because I had some super glue nearby.
Nice.
Because I looked, and it looked like that the circle pad was being held on by like one little sticky piece of something or other, whatever. And that just wore off over consecutive use for 4 years or whatever.
Yeah, you've had that 3DS since the beginning.
I'm an ambassador.
Yep. I'm surprised that it's lasted that long.
The L and R buttons don't work that well anymore.
Well, yeah.
But still a good console.
Oh, yeah. Can't go wrong with Nintendo handhelds.
Nope.
Good day or evening, TheNSCL and UDJ. I was wondering...
Good day, evening.
Exactly, whenever this goes up. I was wondering if you had ever stated where you came up with the 330-300 video format idea. I'll answer that later. It's almost my 100th episode. I'll answer it there.
Woo!
We got one from a regular viewer. UDJ, what don't you like about Godzilla 2014?
I love the kaiju videos and movies of the 50s and 60s because it's just filmmakers trying to make a fun movie. It's people getting in rubber suits. You've got interesting characters that's going on. Ideally, the humans should take a backside to the story. The focus should be on the villain of choice, pretty much. The film is called Godzilla, for Christ's sakes. So why is it that the first 2/3 of the movie is just based on these shitty human characters that nobody gives a fuck about?
That makes sense.
I mean, I know it's all about build-up, but hey, we at least saw Godzilla a few times before we got to the major destruction climax. Okay, just saying.
You know what? Never mind of that co-op of Kingdom Hearts 1.5 remix. How about I just do a Let's Play of both 1.5 and 2.5 remixes? No, it's not going to happen. At this point, I've pretty much given up on the idea of a Kingdom Hearts Let's Play. It was going to be me and UDJ, and then I thought I could do it myself, but no. There's way too many Kingdom Hearts games. It's not worth going through the series.
Believe in the power of heart, TheNSCL!
I love you all. Hey guys, I was wondering what you guys use to capture your footage, software included.
I use a regular half-wage HD PVR. It's not HDMI, it's just component cable, because that's what I mostly use, but I guess I got to upgrade. But the software that I use is Total Media Extreme 2 and Debut Video Capture software.
Yeah, I've got a lot of different capture cards. The one I use for the consoles is it's an HD PVR Hauppauge 2. Don't buy that one because you can't record PS3 footage regularly.
Unless if you have one of mine. Well, wait, why not?
Well, I thought since it was complete HD, you would be able to just plug in your PS3 and go. But Hauppauge hates PlayStation 3s. It hates... for some reason, it just hates Blu-ray in general. So you have to buy a special attachment cable, like what you have, I'm assuming. And you have to plug it into the PS3. You just can't do HD to HD like I can with the 360, and I'm assuming Xbox One can do that as well. But it just doesn't like PlayStation.
Well, let's try the PS4 later, see if that works.
That might work. I think you have to get over a couple hurdles, and then it'll work.
We'll see.
But as far as the handheld stuff, for stuff like older games, I use Fraps. That's on my computer. I have a Vita capture card and a 3DS capture card, both modded systems. They're very expensive. I wouldn't recommend them unless you're really, really wanting to do something and it'll be worth the money. Oh, here's a really good one. I really like this one. What's a game that you didn't like at first but then grew to love it? And conversely, what's a game that you liked at first and then grew to hate it?
Ninja Gaiden 2 was a game I fucking hated. And then, once I got a guide and understood it, I ended up loving it. It was awesome. Dark Souls was kind of the same way. Initially when you first play it, it's like, oh my god, this game is fucking hard, what's the fucking point of it? It's also fucking shitty. But then, I grew to absolutely adore it. Because I keep fucking talking about Dark Souls, don't I?
Yes, you do.
But a game that I loved and grew to hate, probably Fallout 3. Every time that I would turn on to play that game, my opinion of it would lessen and lessen and lessen until I ended up hating it by the time I beat it. And I know people are going to crucify me for that, but I don't care!
Hey, everybody's got their own opinion.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I haven't played Fallout 3 in a long time.
It's not a game for me.
Yeah. A game that I didn't like at first but then grew to love? Actually, Dead Rising 2. It just didn't seem right when I first started playing it, but as soon as I found out that the AI wasn't a piece of trash, I absolutely adored it. And conversely, what's a game you liked at first but then grew to hate? Dead Rising 3! I thought it was going to be awesome. Just because, you know, they hyped it up with saying you can use anything as a weapon, and then the guy picks up a fucking gun. And I was just thinking, you know what? There should be options in there. If I'm not able to run around in my underwear and kill zombies with, like, a post of a fence or something like that I can find, I'm sure there's something in there. And then I finally played the demo. And it was next-gen schlock. It is gray, it is dull, it is boring, and there's just way too many zombies.
Because it's the first Dead Rising that doesn't have Keiji Inafune at the helm.
Okay, I'm not complaining that there are too many zombies in a Dead Rising game, but they actually fight. Like, the zombies are supposed to be an afterthought to Dead Rising. I know it's pretty much the main focus because there's so many of them, but the main focus is supposed to be, you know, the crazy story around the zombies. They're not actually supposed to be aggressive. That's not the point of them being there. They're just supposed to be fodder.
Like the hack and slash thing. It feels good to hack into a big thing of zombies.
That's right.
Or strategically avoid them.
And the one thing that absolutely kills Dead Rising 3 for me is it takes itself 100% seriously.
Oh, that's your problem right there.
You can't do that in a Dead Rising game.
No. Once you
look at the first one.
Once you suck the fun out of it, there's no fun left to be had.
I mean, if you look at the first one, we're currently doing a playthrough, and I think the what was the last thing we recorded? I got caught by cultists. You know, they breathed fairy dust into my face, and then I ended up naked in the next scene. That's not serious. First of all, there's a cult in a shopping mall. That's not serious. Dead Rising 2, you fought a giant mascot that had a constant face on his head, and it was voiced by Light Yagami from Death Note.
Well, Capcom doesn't really have any, more important people anymore. I mean, they had Keiji Inafune, and I think the only person left there is Yoshinori Ono and Shu Takumi. And they're both working on their shit.
Dead Rising 3 is so disappointing. And also, and I've only played the demo. That's the sad part. I don't even own the game. But I wanted to like it, and I couldn't. And I suppose you could pair that one with a game I liked at first, Resident Evil 6. And then I hated it.
It started out all right, and then it just didn't. All right, next question.
Sure. Oh, here's one, and we'll end it off here. This is actually a really important one. Would you guys plan on putting up videos of you two fighting in Smash like you did eons ago? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right.
Might get some Mario Kart in there, too.
Well, we got any more questions?
That's it, actually.
Okay.
The ones that are at least relevant.
Okay. Well, you just want to skip to the closing things then?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, do you have anything in closing that you'd like to say?
I want to beat video games again.
Sounds good. I have a channel update video, hopefully going up either today or tomorrow. Not sure, but just talking about what's going on with the channel, what's going on, what's new, and all that. So just check that out when that goes up, I guess.
And a small mention, you're almost at 200 subscribers. What's up with that?
Big fucking whoop, right?
Yeah, seriously, you're nowhere near my 5 or however many I have.
Yeah, that's kind of what I kind of talk about, I'm gonna get more stuff going out, and
okay.
Yeah, so you'll see.
We'll save it for that then.
All right.
Thanks for listening, guys, and hopefully there will be more Orange Peripheral than I originally intended.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. Hope you guys have a wonderful year, and we'll see you, depending on when this goes up, we'll either see you next year or this year.
All right. Happy 2015.
Here's to a better year than this one.
Cheers.
Cheers.